Hi everyone, Kelly here, the Mindful Herbalist, and today I am working with Comfrey. I'm making a poultice and a compress to help soothe an inflammatory situation I've got going on with my forearm. So Comfrey is one of these wonderful garden plants that can really take over a garden space. You definitely see a lot of it growing more in Europe, but certainly in gardens here in North America, you'll find either the purple, blue, or light pink flowers hanging their heads down towards Mother Earth. And the leaves tend to be very hairy, a little bit spiky, and the roots really are quite proliferant, which speak to a little bit of the plant's doctrine of signatures. Comfrey is known as a cell proliferant. Now, what that means is it helps to rebuild tissues. Comfrey, in its history, has been known as knit bone. It has been used to help repair cellular tissue in the body. One of the things we see about comfrey is that it's really high in mucilage. This means that it is a demulcent herb, meaning that it moistens dryness. And this is very evident in working with the plant. You'll see how very moist the plant becomes, slippery even. And what we see with mucilaginous plants is that not only do they moisten dryness, but they oftentimes cool excess heat in the tissues. And that's what I'm dealing with right now. Is I've got some inflammation in my muscles. I'm not sure that there's a tear. I don't think there's a tear. I think it's just strain and overuse. And so I'm looking to cool and calm that irritation and hopefully bring about healing to any tissue damage that my body might be experiencing. So comfrey is a wonderful plant for that. So what we're going to do is we're going to make first a poultice and then a compress. So I'm working with dried herb here, and I'm working specifically with the leaf. And so this leaf has been dried, cut and sifted, and I'm just going to take a heat sealable oversized tea bag, and I'm going to fill it up with 3 rounded tablespoons of dried comfrey leaf. And using my iron, I'm going to go ahead and seal that open end together so that none of my comfrey leaf leaks out when I'm using it as a poultice. Now that my poultice is made, I'm going to boil some water and just pour a little bit over my poultice in a bowl, just so that the poultice is covered with hot water. And I'm going to let this sit for about 10 to 15 minutes and allow that water to extract the mucilage and all the beneficial properties of the comfrey until it feels nice and slippery. And you might not be able to see it here in the video, but certainly you'll be able to feel that slippery consistency of the comfrey. At this point, I'm just going to take my bag, squeeze out any excess water so it doesn't make a mess on my clothes, and I'm just going to place it right on the affected area, and I'm going to let that sit. I might wrap it with a paper towel just to prevent any dripping from going on my clothes, and I'm just going to let it sit there for about 5 to 10 minutes. If you need to be active for some reason, you can also wrap your poultice with some plastic wrap. And again, I'm just going to let it sit here for 5 to 10 minutes. And what that's going to do is the heat in my body is going to be drawn out by the plant matter. And the plant matter is going to hold the heat of the inflammation and deliver that cooling action of the plant. And that cooling action is really actually an inflammatory modulating action that this particular plant is known for. Once the poultice has sat for about 5 to 10 minutes, I'm going to remove it and reapply with a new poultice, and let that sit for 5 to 10 minutes. And I can repeat this process 3 or 4 times. And what I also can do is use the water that was left behind from the poultice and use it as a compress. And so what I'm going to do is take a clean cloth, dip it in the tea that's left behind from the poultice, soak my cloth with it, and use that cloth as a compress to deliver the same type of action that our poultice delivered. And so we can repeat these processes quite a few times, but it's important to know that you don't want to leave your poultice or your compress on the affected area for more than 10 minutes, because once the poultice absorbs the heat, it can then re-deliver it back into the body if it's left on the body for too long, and we don't want that to happen. Poultices and compresses are wonderful ways to work with herbal remedies in order to deliver topical applications for healing. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope that you too look to your herbal allies for topical healing assistance.